Welcome to Mind Reader by Lost Hairdressers. My name is Clint, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. Mind Reader.
What's up, Barb? How are you?
What if I just clammed up now? I couldn't say anything. No, Clint, doing great over here. Doing great.
Yeah. I've carried conversations through worse. I could figure it out.
Yeah. I trust in you.
Your first podcast. This is awesome.
Yeah, guys, let's just get it out of the way. This is my first time doing this. So you're getting the real, raw, honest story.
This will be the first of many, considering there are so many hairdresser podcasts out there. This is just a drop in the bucket.
You shush. Lost Hairdressers? This is like the pinnacle, man. This is the if you know, you know. The super not niche publication.
I like that. Yeah, we're intentionally staying small, exclusive,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Who needs money?
That's what we all need to be doing. Picking and choosing, not saying yes to everything.
Exactly. Screw that algorithm.
Yeah, we'll show them.
So, Barb and I work together. You and I work together.
What an honor. What an honor to have that sentence.
That's
Me and
pretty
Clint
cool.
are coworkers.
And I get to watch your, I don't know if you would say meteoric rise, because meteors come from the sky. So I've gotten to watch your meteoric plummet.
He's like, I'm watching your downward spiral right now.
No, it's
and
cool.
That's very on brand.
Yeah, I didn't know you prior to this, so it's been really cool to watch your career and to see how you work and to get to see you behind the scenes too, and get to see you at shows sometimes and stuff like that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we are Hives fans, everybody. If you're not listening to the Hives, what are you even doing?
You got a problem.
Yeah, this might actually turn into a music podcast, so you may want to just click skip right now.
Well, did you listen to the one with Eugene Solomon?
No, I listened to a little bit, but...
Oh, I guess this podcast is over.
Shut up. You guys, I literally, all I do is travel too right now, not to brag, but I have downloaded podcasts. I've downloaded full shows, and then I just sit on a plane listening to the same music over and over again. Yeah. It's my brain can't handle stimulation.
Yeah.
But please go on. Tell me.
Oh, no, he's super into music, so he waxed poetic about music for a long time, which is I really enjoy that. So
my gosh. Well, hey, but guess what? I'm gonna go hit save right now, and I'm gonna go listen to that.
Yeah. Okay. Sure thing.
But also, you didn't know me, but I of course knew about you. You're legendary.
Not me. Lost Hairdressers, maybe.
Oh, you shush. You too. You are in COVID, you got me through with all your lives and inspiration.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. I listened to... Okay, so I didn't listen to Eugene, but I definitely listened to you and Howard McLaren.
Yeah, I was going to revisit that one the other day, because he's such a character, man.
He's so... he's definitely character. He's the best character.
Yeah, he's great. So I don't know, maybe we can get him back on. Now I'm I forgot I did all these interviews, and it'd be cool to get some of them back on.
Definitely.
What they're up to, so we'll do that. But we're starting with you.
See where they are now, post-COVID.
Yeah. Hopefully they didn't get it and are still alive,
Oh, yes. Yes.
So, so I don't know a lot about your history. So I
Who does?
I don't know. Maybe Mike does. I'm sure he does.
All of my clients do.
I want to ask. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
cool. So you tell all of us now. So where are you from originally?
Okay, I'm from this town called Petaluma, California, Northern California. It's 40 minutes north of San Francisco, Golden Gate Bridge. and it's like the beginning part of wine country. It's gorgeous, like 30 minutes from Bodega Bay, where The Birds was filmed. And it's actually we just got like I still live there. I live in Los Angeles now, everybody. But I am lucky enough to have property there. I own a house there. And we got one of the vibiest towns in America.
Nice.
Everyone there wants to know what vibey town means, but
When
it's
was
open
that?
to.
When was that type of recognition originally awarded? Was that from the 30s, like the vibiest town?
Dude, I seriously think like 2024. It just got coined now, They were like, that's missing. Like family oriented, busy, safe, vibey. They were
Yeah,
missing vibey in the
I want to hear
category.
like an old timey guy from the 30s be like, and now the award for the
Yeah,
vibiest town.
hey.
This town's got Wanderlust written all over it.
Yeah, well, there is this guy called like, oh God, everyone from there is gonna cringe at this, but it's like Piano Pete or something. And
Okay.
on Friday nights, he like sits on a piano downtown and just like riffs. So it's probably him. He's
Nice.
probably been there since,
Okay.
1800s or something, whenever that was claimed as Petaluma. I don't even know.
Looks like I found my next guest for the podcast.
Yeah, for your music podcast.
Yeah. Okay. That one.
Yeah.
So what?
Um,
Yeah. So what were you? Am I my picture of you like on a horse, picking grapes? Is
definitely.
that how it was?
So as much as it was a like cow town, we actually were coined before Vibey. We were coined chicken capital of the world.
Okay.
So we have a parade every year in April called Butter and Eggs Day. Okay.
Beautiful.
So, but on the flip side of that, there is a like venue for alt kids and rejects to go hang out, and it's called the Phoenix Theater.
Okay.
And even this band AFI was found there. They have a song called Days of the Phoenix, and it was from our venue. So you
Wait,
had
what do you mean?
your
Like they first performed it at that venue,
they
or
they're from Ukiah, which is
okay,
about 40 minutes north. See, I told you guys, like skip this. It's a
that's
music
great.
podcast.
That's great.
But yeah, so they're from like 40 minutes north of our town. And we were kind of one of the first like bigger alternative venues for Northern Bay Area. So
Yeah.
as much as you had like the cowboys and the cowgirls and the cow people, we had like the goth metal hardcore indie rock kids. So we had like Thursday come there. We like in high school we were just like getting the like Snoop Dogg played there, like Hanson came and played there.
Awesome.
So it's really like, and AFI played there. Yeah, so
They
I
didn't pay
kind
the
of
same
got
bill.
no, no,
Oh,
no, no. Maybe the same weekend,
yeah,
They were
yeah.
like, let's just do it. I
Come
think
on,
even
guys.
like, yeah, Jenny Lewis played there. Like we got some like huge artists to come through because it was like a cool place to have like secret shows outside of San Francisco. So there was like a lot of art influence there
Yeah.
and a lot of easy ways to express yourself. And
So was AFI? Was that your scene? Was that kind of?
no, I was not even that cool. It was my brother's scene, and I was like, oh, I've listened to them.
I heard somebody listen to them.
Yeah, I know the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really I'm trying not to say you guys. It was a
Let it
really
rip.
cool place to, find like-minded people in such like a small town. Yeah.
So who I love this question just because I like the mental picture, but
Yeah, of
who,
course.
who was Barb Thompson in high school?
Ooh. Okay. You know how every hairdresser is like, I cut my Barbie's hair or I was doing everyone like I was nowhere near. I wanted to be like a therapist for inmates. My dad was a correctional officer at San Quentin, and prior to the true crime podcast era that we are now in, which I love. My dad and I used to go to like San Francisco Giants games, and on the drive, I would like ask him about serial killers, and I was like really intrigued by that whole like mental state of, unwell people that murder people.
Yeah.
So I actually was going to school after high school. I graduated on my 17th birthday. So I graduated really early.
Nice.
And I was like going to get like a psychology like degree.
Crazy.
And yeah, it was like my mom owned a hair salon. We'll get that out. So that was like, it was kind of like why I didn't want to get into hairdressing. Because I kind of saw the 1990s like supercut version of hairdressing,
Right.
But we'll get back into that. But I was very much more like enthralled by what my dad was doing and what my oldest brother still does. So yeah, that was kind of who I was. I was like hanging out at shows and trying to go to school.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that's who I was in high school. And I played tennis.
You were a
before it was
tennis
hip.
player.
I was a tennis player. So I was like rocking out on the weekends and doing tennis during the week.
So did you have like any type of kind of fascination with fashion at all at that point?
Nothing.
Awesome. That's great. That's great.
I mean, I wore like blazers and like pyramid, like what is the double road like metal belts,
Yeah, the
and like a
studded belt?
band tee.
Okay.
Yeah, pyramid studded belt. That was me. Like flat iron. I really was good at a flat iron, and since my mom was in hair, I had like a chi, and all my friends like wanted to like borrow my stuff. So I always was surrounded by like all of the best products, especially late 90s, early 2000s, like we had Redken and like Pureology. And I just thought it was so cool.
Some say those are still out there somewhere.
Yeah. Or like, oh my gosh, this will be a throwback for the real ones. BioSilk. I had like the big jug of that silicone product, Love and respect to BioSilk, but I don't think I would still be rocking it now.
Yeah, I think we have the same era. Like I started doing hair in like 2000, 2001. So it was like, it was all of that. Like you people were like drinking BioSilk. It was just all over the place. Like the salon smelled like BioSilk. It wasn't even a BioSilk salon.
Because it's just sitting on top of everyone's head. So it's not penetrating in. So the smell is there.
It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy, man. I really can smell it right now. I can smell BioSilk.
It's thick. Yeah. It's thick.
It's thick. It's thick.
Yeah.
Awesome. So at that point, your only connection to hair was your mom and then mentally unstable people.
Yeah. So it's like still the same. Just kidding.
I mean, a lot of us end up in jail, at least for, a couple nights.
A little bit. Yeah. We got to get our character.
It's so true. Actually, by the way, I found my studded belt last time I was in Texas visiting home, and
did you bring it back with you?
I didn't. I don't think I can. I don't think I'd do it again. Actually,
you did.
But in like the height of my like punk rock belt days, I got pulled over for a DUI. I was like 22 or something, and I got sent to the drunk case. By the way, I was not drunk, and I beat the case, but.
Oh my God.
in the drunk cell in Dallas with, girls' jeans and punk rock belt and, Fred Perry. I don't know who I was at the time, but I was trying to sit on the ground in this drunk tank because there was no other place to sit.
Oh my gosh, but your belt was too restricting.
Well, because my pants were girls' jeans. They were so low rise. Like, and I was trying to sit, and like the punk rock belt sat like right at the, it was terribly uncomfortable. I think that was when I put it away. I was like,
yeah, you're like, okay.
Yeah,
we've hit
I'm going leather.
we've hit the rock bottom of the drunk tank.
100%.
But I'm shocked, like you couldn't even take that off because they'd be like, you have a weapon, man.
I know. I'm actually surprised they let me in there with it, but they
Right?
probably didn't want those pants to fall down.
Right. They're like,
so
we have to keep them secured.
or to keep me safe. It could have been
Exactly.
to keep me safe.
Exactly. It's the only thing holding us together.
It was a rough night. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
So
Fred Perry, Pyramid Belt.
Yep. When did you first sell out on your dream of working with inmates and give up and go to hair?
Oh my gosh. Well, it really, I'm trying to think. So my husband and I have been together for 19 years, so 2005. So I was almost done with my like units because I had graduated so early that in order to be in an academy, you had to be like 21 or something. Because no matter, even if you're going the psychology route to go in there, you had to go through the academy like everybody else.
Wow.
So I got all of my school units done. I was trying to get them all done ahead of time. And this woman, sadly, I don't know anything about the story, but she got held hostage at the Davis State Prison, and she was actually murdered.
Whoa.
And it was like right as I was finishing. And my dad, who just is the coolest dad in the world, and he is all about me and my brothers doing whatever we want to make us happy. He just looked at me and he's like, honey, I don't want you to do it. And he had been like so supportive and obviously like so honored that I was following his footsteps, but he was just like, it's not good. So
had some sense of apprehension already been rising in you up to that point?
No, the only thing I was scared of was like the pepper spray day. That was the only thing I was like, ooh, that's gonna be brutal.
How does
So
that
no,
go?
I was like, you like have to just get like tear gas and like pepper sprayed in your face.
That's awesome.
I was just like, ooh, that's gonna suck.
I did not know that was the
This
thing.
is not even a hairdresser podcast anymore.
Not yet. It's coming though.
No, you guys really got to earn it, you know?
So
yeah.
You never got pepper sprayed?
No, I didn't even go. I didn't even get there.
Man,
so
what about this day? Has anybody pepper sprayed you?
No.
No.
I know. Hey, maybe on my 40th birthday, I'll have everyone pepper spray me.
Amazing.
Get weird.
Amazing. All right. So this is really interesting because it doesn't seem like you would have considered yourself a creative by this point.
At all. Yeah.
And then I'm wondering if the thought of doing hair was only the thought of working at like a Supercuts. Was that your scope of that world?
Not even hair, man. So after that, I became a massage therapist. So bizarre.
Yeah.
So to get into beauty school.
Was that just a means to an end to become a massage therapist?
I think I was always good at like, like reading people, which I think is so important with hair. Yeah. And yeah, I just was like, not to be weird, but I was like a touchy person, and my brother always had a bad back, so I always got good at massaging him, and he's like, dude, you're like really good.
Nice.
And people always said that, so did that just to kind of, and at the time, actually, I was working at, it's now Cosmoprof, but I was working at, this is a huge part, forgot about this. I was working at West Coast Beauty Supply for the real ones. Yeah. And because my mom knew them, so I was in there. And so I learned a lot about color and styling products. And then I left there to do massage school. And I did it like at the same time. And basically, we'll fast forward. Mike and I were in a terrible car accident. June of 2005. And my whole body was wrecked, so I couldn't massage. So I worked at my mom's salon.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just like the front desk girl, and I swept and I cleaned up after everyone. And that's how I kind of got into it. And they like taught me Marcel's, and it was kind of like the old school route first,
you got literally like shoehorned into
Yeah.
hair
Big
industry.
joke.
Another car.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. So it was like, cause it was weird. It was like, you know how they always say like, don't do what your parent, like people fight what their parents want them to do. And my mom was so rad and was just like, you should do hair.
Mhm.
Like, you would be really good at it. And so she always takes a lot of credit
Yeah,
for this situation.
that's great.
Um,
Give it to her.
yeah, we'll give it to her. Thanks, Tara. Yeah, so did that. And I basically got swindled from my mom and one of my old coworkers at West Coast Beauty Supply who was going to start beauty school. They kind of were like, just go to the intro class, go see the school. And it was this beauty school that my mom went to because she was a manicurist, not a cosmetologist. And I just went and I was going to sign up for just esthetician because I was going to build my cave. I was going to do skin and massage. And my mom was like, I will only pay for it if you do cosmetology because you could do skin if you do cosmetology, but you can't do hair. So she's like, just go. I wish I would have gone. Like she had said she wished she had gone to the full thing.
Right.
And she's like, just go and see, you know?
Yeah.
2 weeks in, I was like, skin is so gross. And I was just so intrigued by hair. I was like, the finger waves was like the coolest thing to me. And I was like, how do they do that? Or I actually thought, oh, that's super easy. I'm going to knock that out of the park. And then the first day I was like punting my doll head into the parking lot. Just like, what the hell? My fingers don't work, man.
It looks so easy. It truly looks so easy.
It still looks so easy. And I'm just like, nope.
So you're in hair school and you're starting to like,
Yeah.
starting to find that you dig it.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then are you
I was like,
plotting your next moves? Like what did you see yourself doing from there? Or like,
oh man, that's where I think because I was always a tennis player, I always played sports growing up. Being the youngest of two older brothers, I was always competitive. So I was like, I have to be the best. If I'm going to do this, I have to like figure it out. But at that point, I didn't even understand the difference of like 10 volume and 20 volume. And all my friends seemed to know what was going on. And I was just like, how do they know what to use? Where? Like, I was so like in my head. But I remember this class, this like theory class we had at the beginning of one of the days. And it's kind of what like always drove me to fulfill my dreams and the things I wrote down. So as small as you feel in beauty school and as like untrained and, you know, green you are, I really think back to this day. And it was like, what do you see yourself doing in 5 to 10 to 20 years from now? And I legit wrote down, I want to own a salon. I want to be a Fashion Week hairstylist. And I want to be a celebrity hairstylist. So, and I was like, but like, I was like in Marin County. I was like, no one, like, my mom owns like a Supercuts, you know? I was like, what? And it's not Supercuts, the brand. It was like a local, just so we're all clear, just so.
yeah.
It's
Is
not
it
the
still
headline. It is. We're gonna leave any names out of it. Definitely not the brand anymore. That'll be the mystery. People got to DM me for that info.
All right. Is your mom
if
still
you know,
there?
you know. No, my mom actually sold it the day I got my license because she was like, "Do you want it?" Because she, at that point, I had like talked her, my friend and I, who she was the one that took me to beauty school with her. She and I convinced my mom to like sell the salon and buy a coffee shop drive-through. Clint, I have a whole freaking
Man, it's amazing.
wait, I know it's a journey to have gotten here, but yeah, my mom bought a coffee shop by selling the salon, to like give my friend and I a job when we got started doing hair. So I would work coffee from like 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then I would like Superman change and get ready for a salon day.
Man, so your mom's like sounds like she's got quite an entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah.
My mom is on it. Nothing's getting past her. She still thinks she's like my Kris Jenner, you know? She thinks she's still like the puppeteer. Clint, she probably knows all about you. She already knows about Lost Hairdresser. You know, nothing is getting past my mother.
She needs her own podcast, honestly.
Oh, yeah. She basically already runs it in her head, you know?
Yeah, we just need to hook her up with some tech and get her going. That would be amazing. What's her name?
Oh, yeah.
Hair?
Terry.
Awesome.
Terry Thompson.
All right. Love it. Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so had you met anybody by that point that had done Fashion Week or had done any celebrity hair? Did you know
Nothing.
anybody? Okay. So how'd you meander towards at least like because I'm sure that took a little bit of time, but did you start
10
doing
years,
hair?
Clint. 10 years.
Okay.
A whole decade.
It took the entirety of that 10 years. But before you arrived at year 10, did you end up working in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was that story? Like, how'd you get there?
Yeah, 10 years of like Petaluma hairdressing behind the chair. But it was just like eating away at me. Like I was so ready to get there. And it was like, maybe it wasn't 10, it was 8 years. So 2013, dear God, 2014, I went to New York with my mom. Okay.
Yeah.
And my brother lived in Brooklyn. He had lived there he just left there last October of 2023. So he lived in Brooklyn. I was like, Mom, I want to go to New York and I want to at least just go to Fashion Week. I want to like be a guest somehow. And I had found like seats. Just spoiler alert, everyone. You can go on Craigslist at the time in 2014 and people would sell seats to Fashion Week. Yeah. And so I was just like, I want to feel it. I wanted to like see it outside of like Devil Wears Prada. You know, I was like, I want to be in it as close as I could, you know, the only way I knew how. And that trip, I flew home and I told Mike, I was like, I need to move to San Francisco because it's easier. And I felt like I could do my clients in Petaluma because it's only like a 40-minute commute, which I didn't end up doing. My therapist at the time told me to just jump headfirst into San Francisco. Yeah. Best advice I've ever gotten, actually.
Wow.
To just like jump with both feet. If you leave one foot back, you're going to tumble down the hill. So.
Talking to a guy who goes to Dallas every 6 weeks.
Oh, don't worry. I did a bunch of back and forth.
For 14 years.
San Francisco.
But it is good advice. It is.
Clint, you're like, I've learned so much.
What am I doing? I gotta go.
You're like, who's your therapist?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that trip, I just text Mike and I was like, we're moving to SF or New York.
And Mike grew up in Petaluma as well? Am I saying that?
Petaluma. Petaluma. It's Petaluma, but Petaluma. I don't know.
Fair enough. All right, cool.
Yeah. And by the way, everyone, Winona Ryder's from Petaluma. Just want to get that out there. That's
I
our
knew
one.
It sounded familiar.
I know. It's very cool. Yeah. So Mike is from Santa Rosa, which is like 20 minutes north of Petaluma. But where was I?
Yeah. So it was basically you're like, we're moving to San Francisco.
Oh yeah. So we're moving, and we legit signed a lease 2 weeks later. I just like flipped it. And
2014, you said?
2014. Yeah, September. So 10 years ago this month. Whoa.
What? All right,
whoa,
cool.
10 years? Okay. So that shows my age, everyone. I am in this industry for 20 years. That's spooky.
But now you're entering phase 2
like
your
phase
career,
9,000.
of your hairdressing career.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
So
Yeah,
where did you land?
so
So did you have a salon in mind for San
I
Francisco?
had a goal salon.
Okay.
In April of that year, I was talking to our Arnco, or no, who was it? It wasn't our, it was an Orbe rep.
Okay.
I was like trying to go the rep route because it's like they're in your salon. They know the lead stylist per the brand. And I was just trying to sound cool. Her name's Kelly Floyd. Love her. She's now with Arnco. That's where I got confused. But I was like, hey, Kelly, like, what are the coolest salons in San Francisco? And she gave me a list and she's like, I'm not going to tell you my order. These are just the like hip ones. And I became obsessed with this salon. It had just opened. It's called Barrow Salon, Michelle Snyder. And I just was like, whoa, this is like all the girls were hip, doing cool haircuts. Like she was known for doing Zoe Deschanel's bangs, and it was like peak new girl, she and him. It was just like indie dream, you know? And I was just like, wow, I would love that would be like the dream to work there.
Mhm.
So September, or maybe it was August actually, of 2014, I was trying to sound cool to this makeup artist I was working a wedding with. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to move to San Francisco and, I'm going to try and get a job at Barrow. And she was like, oh, that's where I get my hair done. And I
Awesome.
was like, cool. I just put my foot like into my mouth, you know?
Yeah.
And Missy Olson is my friend, and she like connected me with Michelle. And it was just me running my mouth
Yeah.
and it connected. So it was cool. So we talked back and forth. I had to do a big trial day, and I didn't know like what people in like cities wore. So I wore like I actually was wearing like a similar shirt to this.
Okay.
And in San Francisco, no building has AC. I was just like dripping in sweat. And
Yeah.
I had like 5 people back to back. It was just like I couldn't believe she hired me. But she hired me and I
Yep.
started November of
Awesome.
2014.
I
Yeah.
really like. I haven't seen Michelle in a long time, but I really always like Michelle a lot.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
she is a powerhouse, and I truly like give it up to her, and we'll get there. But Karina from Pony,
Mhm.
oh, and I also took a class from Pony because I saw they were like connected. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'll take a class from Karina and she could teach me iron work and I'll, look cool on the resume. And it was time to be alive in San Francisco.
Absolutely. That might have been because I went to Barrow. I don't know.
Barrow,
It's Barrow.
Barrow,
I went to
yeah.
Barrow and took a pony class at Barrow because I knew Karina
Hmm.
already, and that's where I met Michelle, and it was really
Totally.
good vibes then. They have just like
Yeah.
a really great team.
Yeah.
I haven't kept up. I'm not sure what's going on with them right now, but um,
Yeah. I think they're all doing great over
cool.
there. Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
So that was kind of the start
Yeah.
of getting to know all the fashion cool people, you know?
They do like have their hand on the pulse, I think, of the West Coast pretty well, and like doing it kind of on their terms from San Francisco, which is really cool.
Totally.
Why didn't you just stay there?
Stay there.
Yeah.
I felt that well, okay, so I ended up getting an educator role from Howard's team through Michelle
Got it.
with R and Co. And I kind of got the travel bug. I was going back and forth to Miami a lot. And not that Miami is like the most on brand thing for me, but I love Miami. We love Miami.
Miami.
Shout out to Miami people. Miami, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was kind of like the first little thing where I was like, well, maybe I should open a salon. It was weird. I was like, I feel like I need to like own a salon first. like, or not even first. I didn't know. I would say there was like, I was a commissioned stylist in San Francisco. I was doing like 4 people at a time, and it just kind of was the wheels were just turning, and I didn't feel like I could think and focus.
Right.
And I was traveling, and I got on the Orbe team to do some shows. So I was like doing Fashion Week twice a year just for New York, and I felt like I needed more control over my life and my like not take a moment. I needed control over my work life.
Yeah.
So I really thought about it, and it was more on brand for me to kind of pull out from the city tech version of San Francisco. And I still lived in San Francisco, but I opened my salon in Petaluma.
Oh, cool. Okay, great.
So I was like city living, but working with my clients in Petaluma.
Yeah.
And it was really weird. Like, San Francisco people loved coming up to wine country.
I
Like,
believe
it was
awesome.
it was a draw. I didn't want to compete with the San Francisco, like Barrow, Ito, like all the heavy hitters, and I respect all of them so much. But it just was more authentic to me to open in my hometown. And I figured parking.
Yeah.
And most people were coming from the north side of the city. So for them, it was like almost faster than like parking downtown and dealing with the city hubbub.
But you stayed living in San Francisco, and then
yeah.
Okay, all right. Now I'm thinking
5 years.
Okay, I'm thinking if I opened a salon. Well, if I opened a salon,
Clint, don't do it.
Oh, I just got.
Don't do it,
Yeah,
people.
no,
We'll get there, but don't do it.
But did that at all look or feel like you were gonna settle down, like you were gonna settle into a role and like just do your thing? Because clearly you didn't. But
yeah, I feel like I saw the power of social media, and you could be anywhere, you know? And really, we learned that to be so true with COVID. So I felt like I could be, in the scheme of things, no offense to Petaluma or Northern Bay Area, but like I felt like I could be a bigger fish in a smaller pond and at least make my mark there, opposed to trying to battle it out for the San Francisco best, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
Where I was like, at least I'll be, you know, doing my city higher end thing, but in my town where I'm very, as you can tell, half this podcast has been about my family. Like, I was very family oriented, and I just felt like I could almost live in San Francisco more by working in Petaluma and seeing my family after work, and then like having the weekends in the city with my partner and, you know, my friends there. So it actually like gave me more freedom in my mind. I didn't know how hard it is to open and run a salon. But yeah, it felt right.
I'm assuming your mom's experience maybe gave you some, like, maybe not blind confidence, but just like it could be done, you know, like that's.
Yeah. Or even like what not to do.
Right. Or that.
You know?
Sorry, Tara.
Yeah, sorry, Tara. But she was a manicurist running a hair salon. So if people called out, she couldn't do it. I was like, at least if everyone left me, I could run it with the, you know, scissors on my back. Like, I could at least do everything.
Sure.
You know? I didn't want to offer something that I couldn't fulfill for someone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's truly something that is necessary for success in a salon.
So I have to ask too, because you and your husband are both creatives, right? And I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know Mike's trajectory as far like musically, but Mike's in a successful band.
Yep.
And they're blowing up right now. It's really cool. But
we'll plug them. Spiritual Cramp.
Spiritual Cramp. Believe it or not, I was listening to them before I met him with you, it's pretty weird.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but
So LA,
so LA, most LA things never happened to me. But
Mhm.
let's see, was he already starting his career in music? Was he already doing that thing? Like, was it difficult to pull in your own directions, or was that not quite
No.
there?
Yeah, we met in February of 2005. So we met at a show
Mhm.
at a venue in San Francisco called The Pound.
Mhm.
And he was like in a metalcore band. I won't say any names. But so we met with him being in music. So I knew, and we both had obviously always hoped that we would,
Mhm.
do what we set out to do.
Yeah.
So I'd say it was really successful because we were not the couple that was always together.
Right.
It wasn't like Barb and Mike. It was like Barb with Mike sometimes or Mike with Barb sometimes. So it was really important, I think, for us to like keep our individual, lives going.
Right.
And I think that's like really what has helped us. Like we've both had really clear visions of where we saw ourselves going.
Cool.
So it's definitely hard now though. And we have a 100-pound dog that we have to cart around. So the schlep is real.
That's real hard because you still travel quite a bit, right? Like for
Yeah.
work, and he obviously goes on tour on
Yeah.
occasion. So
it's really tough.
Yeah.
So, but it's so worth it.
Yeah. No, it's
I don't know
cool.
what that loud sound is. So sorry if everyone's hearing that. Don't know. There's construction on this street.
All
But
right. Sorry, I have a guy who lives below me because, for people who don't know, I'm in my kitchen. But
yeah.
and he's
Love
this
it.
very sweet guy, and it's like in the middle of the day he will start working on things, and it sounds like he is.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like he's building a building inside of his
Yeah.
apartment. It is insane. What's that?
Like little tiny house in the house.
Yeah, and I cannot figure out what it is. I've lived here for like 9 years, and I cannot figure out what it is. And he doesn't really speak English, so I can't really ask him. I've thought about buying a drone and just floating it.
Just like figuring it out. Totally.
I want to know so bad because if he's like building a spaceship, I want on it. Like if he's getting out of here,
because it's got to be secure.
Dude, it is crazy.
He's working so hard.
Yeah, but I'm always like, please don't be doing it while I'm doing the podcast. Like, please. And
yeah, of course.
So far,
of course.
been okay, but you never know. LA is noisy.
Oh yeah, comes with the territory.
So how did LA come into the mix? So you've got your salon. Well, maybe we're going too far ahead. Like, did you keep?
No, I think that's good. I think so. 2017 opened the salon. 2018, Sarah Sloan from Bumble. She and I had worked together with R&Co. She kind of really brought me in and nurtured me through traveling. And like, to be honest, I wasn't even like that strong of a razor cutter at that point, and I was teaching razor cutting. Sorry, everyone. But I think it was more like a personality thing. I think like being positive and trying your best and learning as you go, faking it till you make it. And I got better and I got better. And Sloan was like, I have a salon in LA. I do color and cut, for everyone that didn't know that, and styling. And she was like, you should come and color my cut clients and like build. Because I told her I was curious about LA. It was like, the last thing I had to do was the celebrity of it all. And she's like, I do writers and producers. I do some like, actors. And it just kind of naturally came out. But I was like, I own a salon now. I can't leave it. And what you realize is one of the only reasons you should own a salon is for the flexibility of controlling your schedule. And yeah, so I just started coming up every 6 weeks, kind of what you do in Dallas. And I started doing pop-ups at her salon. It was called Cool Nights. And I just ended up realizing, though, I didn't even need her clients. I had so many San Francisco transplants that lived in LA, and I had like 3 full days booked like instantly.
That's
And I
awesome.
was like, this is crazy. So my assistant at the time and we would come down every 6 to 8 weeks, and it was like a really cool workcation. And we stayed at fun hotels and definitely would go out at night. But like all my clients were just so happy to see me because, it was like someone they were comfortable with. So it was really, really special. It was really hard though, because it would just be, I would leave Saturday nights from the Bay and come here for Sunday morning and stay Sunday night and leave Monday and go back to the salon Tuesday. So it was rough.
Yeah.
But it was like really what, got me here. And then
Where was Cool Nights, by the way?
Cool Nights with Silver Lake. It's Virgil.
Off
By off Virgil. By Courage Bagel. There's a plug.
I know.
Well,
I know.
if you're
So,
LA,
is it still
Courage
there?
Bagel. It's not. She is actually down the street now, and it's called Of Your Persuasion, I believe.
All right, cool.
Sarah loves a name change. She's always
Nice.
changing names to salons. So yeah,
That's
she
great.
keeps it like you got to know. She doesn't want people just hopping on by.
Amazing.
I love it.
And then nobody go to Courage Bagel because I still can't get in there.
Yeah, no, it's such. You got to go at like 7 a.m. on a Sunday.
Is it that?
Wait in line.
Is it that good?
I'm going to plug Bagel Mill in Petaluma. If you're ever in Petaluma, go to the Bagel Mill. Sorry. It's really controversial, but Bagel Mill has the best bagel out there.
I want to go to Petaluma.
Yeah. Everyone needs to go. Vibiest town.
I love vibey towns.
Yep.
I live in East Hollywood, so of course I love vibey towns.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay.
Okay.
All right. So you're making your way to LA.
You guys, we're getting to the good stuff now. Yeah, you had to earn it.
And then you live here now. I'm questioning it. You do. You live here.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just like a nondescript backdrop. No one ever knows where I am.
See no helicopter.
I live in Silver Lake, almost like Frogtown area here.
Mm-hmm.
Moved here 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I actually, Clint and my job where we share, I moved from Sarah's to actually saw Kat. Because of you, Clint, I saw Kat had opened Freya Collective.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is so cool. I was just like, what is this? Clint's there. Like, Kat's there. I'd always heard of Kat. And I was just like, oh my God. So I like emailed her the day she probably got the keys.
Nice.
So it was February of 2021 before I even lived here. Yep. And I started doing the pop-ups. I shifted because Cool Nights was actually outside.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, that's another podcast, but I needed an indoor salon.
As nice of an idea as that is, and as weather friendly as it can be in LA,
you realize it's actually way more cold here.
Yeah.
Than you think.
That's true.
So
it's also real hot too sometimes.
Yeah. So I was just like, Kat, like I have my own clients, I own a salon, and like she wrote me back within like 15 minutes and she's like, of course.
Nice.
So I really lucked out with that, and that like helped me kind of amp up the clientele here, and moved June of 2021.
Cool.
And simultaneously at that time, I started assisting Mar Rozak, celebrity hairstylist and founder of Rose Hair.
Nice.
Company. And
how'd you meet her?
Ooh,
oh no.
This is no, I was assisting someone else.
Got it.
And
then you weren't.
Yeah, there was What was that?
I'm just kidding. I said, then you weren't. Then you stopped.
Yeah, and then I wasn't.
Mhm.
No, it was actually really funny. We were on like a music video, and a guest star to the music video was Mariska Hargitay from SVU.
Okay. Yep. I think I know.
And it was like the crowd was going wild that Mariska was there, and Mara showed up because Mara was doing Mariska's hair, and I was like, Mara's here. Like I was more like starstruck because of Mara, because in 2014 when social media started, I had seen Mara do Zooey Deschanel's updo for like a New Girl, like Golden Globes or something. And I like DM'd her, and I was just like, I love this look. Of course, Mara didn't see it back in the day, you know? And I was just like huge fan of Mara's forever. So I just didn't even try and be cool. And I just went up to her and I was like, I am a huge fan of yours. Like, love you, whatever. So then that was May before my move in June. And 3 days into moving here, I got asked to assist for her
Nice.
through the agency. So, and we just like hit it off. Her husband's a musician, my husband's a musician, and we just like had like-minded work. Yeah, like
Mhm.
we worked really well together.
Sure.
So it was kind of, and she just was really booked during that time, so I just kept saying yes,
Mhm.
and it was a no-brainer.
Nice. So how long did you do
Yeah,
that for?
like I even still sometimes
Okay,
assist
cool.
her.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So
What are some of your big takeaways from her? Like, how did she take you from where you were at to where you are now, or how did she help?
I feel like Mara didn't treat. I feel like a lot of times in our industry, assistants are like looked down on or not seen like eye to eye. And Mara just saw me for like Barb,
Mhm.
and there was just like a mutual respect there. And like our second job together was Hailey Bieber. Like she had only met me one time,
Right.
and I was on like a Hailey Bieber job with her.
Mhm.
And I think I like, you know, was cool, calm, collected, and
Mhm.
really professional. And you just like, we just hit it off. And I also even want to just say this tidbit. She let me leave that job early because she found out that day that my parents were in town. It was their first time visiting Mike and I. And it was mine and Mike's wedding anniversary.
Oh,
And she let me leave early on like a huge job. It was like a Jimmy Choo campaign. And she let me leave early, and she just said, like, will you send me a picture of you guys? Like, send a selfie of you guys. And my old brain goes like, she doesn't think I'm actually at dinner with my family, you know, like
yeah.
weird, you know, thinking there's like a manipulation or like weird thing there. Mara wanted to know what we were wearing, and she paid for our dinner.
What?
She surprised us by paying for our dinner.
That's awesome.
And I was like, for Mara Rozak, I will do whatever. Like, she was just a real one and just so caring.
Yeah.
Can't speak higher of her.
That's really special. I think people forget, like, you know, if you really want someone's, I don't know if devotion's the right word, but loyalty.
Loyalty,
You know,
yeah.
if you want somebody's loyalty, treat them well, teach
Yeah.
them. And it's
Yeah.
not like, you know, you'll know if you're treating the wrong person well, and you can let them go. But if it's the right
Totally.
person, they're going to sing your praises forever. They're going to assist you whenever you need it, no matter how successful they get, because they're always
Yeah.
going to hold you in that high position. And it's like, it could be a beautiful relationship. There are people that I would still like run to assist, absolutely, in my career, you know.
Totally. And you're
it's-
never too big to assist.
no,
I freaking love it.
no,
Like,
yeah, I miss
sign
it.
me up.
I haven't done it in a long time.
I'll hand you whatever you need.
Yeah, for sure. Lowest pressure ever. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool that
Yeah.
that you have that relationship. What were, as much as I don't want to get too into this, like what were some of your like semi-technical takeaways? Like how did she shape your hairdressing at all in a different way? Or were you pretty established in what you in your like processes?
Oh no, she showed me so much. She showed me just like I had never had to be on set. Like I've come from backstage where you get the breakdown of, you have 7 hours to do this. And of course, at the end, it gets really fumbled sometimes. But I had never been like on the fly. Oh, the client, not the talent, but like, let's say on a campaign, like they actually don't want it down, they want it up. And just like how quickly you have to work with photo shoots and stuff. And she was just such like a like cool, calm, and collected, and just like listening. And she's just so pro about listening what they wanted and just like executing and just being flexible and just like we're there to serve the greater machine of whatever the look is. And so I think uh and showing also when to fight back, like not like just but knowing your battles and knowing when to pick them. So I think on-set etiquette was huge, and she's just like this strong, tiny person presence.
Yeah.
And it was just like really cool, and just like not being the loudest person in the room. Like you don't have to, like almost like slow and steady. She's very stealth. So,
Really cool. I want to meet her. That sounds
oh,
cool.
everyone should meet her.
Yeah.
And I
What
assisted Kylie Heath
okay.
and Clayton Hawkins. And Jenny Cho. I've assisted like a lot of the best people in the celebrity world now. So, and I've taken something from all of them. So I think assist as much as you can.
Yep. How was your like style developing over this all this time? Like as far as like what you like and what you gravitate towards, like what makes your hairdressing your hairdressing? How is this being developed?
Yeah, I think coming from a Napa Valley, Sonoma County, like wedding bridal background, it's always been really soft. It's been organic and uh like long lasting,
Hmm.
classic too, like nothing too trendy. I like doing some braids and stuff like that, but like yeah, I think like classic hairdressing and like learning from Howard and Garen, and then like the celebrity, I think it like went from bridal to fashion to celebrity, and it's just like clean, organic, lived in,
Yep.
if that makes sense. So I think
Absolutely.
and truly just like practicing with like iron work
Hmm.
is like something I think it was like Charlize Theron had like a finger wave or something.
Yeah.
Like, but it wasn't like a wet one. And I was just like, how, like back in the day.
Yeah.
And I just realized like, okay, I know it's an iron. So just like nerding out on people's like iron work was like a huge like aha moment. Like, okay, if you hold it vertically, this happens. Or if you hold it horizontally, this happens. Like really. So when I got to here, when I could kind of like have my years of experience behind the chair, because I was 35 when I moved to LA,
Hmm.
I, could kind of notice the very small details of what people are doing and why. And even maybe they didn't know why because they've been doing this for so long.
Right.
But I think I really got to hone in on you know, subtle impact that makes a big difference.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. Any of those people that you listed before that you assisted, were any of them different enough from your style where you had to really like push yourself?
Definitely. Clayton Hawkins is so freaking talented. He's like known for like Dove Cameron and Olivia Rodrigo and like pop star wigs. It was like kind of the thing that always scared me, you know, because it's wigs are just such, as we know, their own animal. And he just would get like first day, he would have me in there like doing everything with him. So I really think like Clayton was the most different from me, but the most I could learn, you know, like that was so unique to him. And he does such beautiful work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I'd say him.
Extremely talented.
Yes.
Very cool. So how did you kind of end up picking up maybe your first celebrity gigs?
Yeah. I mean, truly, actually, we won't say who did it first, but Clayton actually, I was in New York for Met Gala with Mara, and it was the day before Met, and Mara wasn't even in New York yet, but I got there early because my brother lived there. And Clay texts me like late at night one night, and he was like, "You have to do Olivia Rodrigo tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, haha." Of course. And he's like, "No, I'm serious. I'm stuck in LA and they want to do a trial for the Met." And he fully trusted me with like one of the biggest, and it was like 2 years ago. So it was like pure,
Right.
it was crazy. And I was like, I like called Mike. I was like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just went from like assisting. I was like going to gather extensions that day that we needed for the Met Gala. I had like a whole casual day.
Uh-huh.
And Clay was like, my assistant's flying from LA to New York. She's going to bring you extensions that I've already prepped, but you're going to have to prep her hair and execute the look as close to your ability as possible.
So what was the look?
It was the famous butterflies in her hair, kind of whimsical texture, purple dress.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the dream look.
And did that seem within your skill set at that point? Were you like, oh, I got this. This is not going to be a problem? Or because I'm putting myself in that position and it is holy terror.
Yeah, it's sweat, it's terror, it's fear.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about it, like leading up to walking in that door or even getting in the cab to go there. And I didn't even like have money at the time to like get a cab to go there, but I was like, I can't take the subway to do Olivia Rodrigo's hair. And it was crazy. And yeah, I just freaking blacked out and did it, you know? And I'll never forget it. Lily Keys was on makeup, and now Lily and I share clients, and like it just was so surreal. Donatella Versace walked in the room and I wanted to like become a curtain.
Yeah.
And yeah, Clay, like he guided me. He told me, you know, like what irons to use, and just like kind of held my hand as much as he could. And he fully trusted me. And yeah, I'd say that was like kind of my first big moment. And then later it was really cool because I was like, oh, well, no one will see that moment because it's the prep to the Met Gala, you know? They're only going to see, they're not going to show, that's not going to be on the internet.
Right.
And then her team ended up asking me if I could come back to do a switch for later that night. So I actually like got a moment to like do her on my own. Of course, we took her hair from like here and they were like, we want to do sleek straight in 40 minutes. And I was like, you got it. Mm-hmm. But it was, I think that huge first like, whoa, you know? And then, yeah, Mara, brought me to New York. It's all about New York. Mm-hmm. Brought me to New York for Olivia Wilde. And just like meeting, it was like for a big premiere. Mm-hmm. And I was just like nervous to even be in the room with her, you know? And then like a month later, Mara's like, do you mind, you know, go, Olivia needs a blow dry. Will you go blow dry? And I was just like, just going to blow dry Olivia Wilde's hair. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like my first, and now Olivia and I have done like red carpets, and, Mara puts me in,
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really a testament to like that relationship that, you guys established. Is it's good enough that she can pass you clients and you can build your whole career off of those gestures, and
Exactly.
there's really no distrust there. Nobody's trying to poach. It's just a
No.
symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Totally. And that's why it's just so important to like have people that trust you and you trust them, and it truly is what builds it.
Yeah.
So assist.
Now, and I'm assuming you treat your own assistants horribly.
Yeah, demon.
Not
demon.
passing that on.
Could you imagine?
Probably, yeah.
There'll be comments on the podcast. Yeah.
He's a monster.
They're like, lies! There might be a couple.
Yeah. No, man. I will say this, like, you took the time. I was asking you about, a certain kind of wave, and
yeah.
Barb took, like, she took the time. She came in early, and we went over some stuff.
Hush.
Really awesome. I mean, it's really that type of thing is really helpful and really special, and it's
oh my
cool
gosh
that you're that kind of person.
Clint, anytime.